Hello, ActiveSage here on the Sage channel, and something we've been waiting for quite some time has finally come into the game. That is blueprints. Now, Space Engineers, and I've paused my game, let me unpause that really quickly. There we go. Space Engineers has had blueprints actually for quite some time, but I believe to make them you had to use a third-party thing, and mainly they were just there for the developers, such as the starting platforms that you would often see in the pre-made worlds. Those were actually a blueprint that is called upon when the world is created. Now, you can actually make your own. So, the way you do that is pretty dang simple. You can look at something, and you can do a Ctrl+B on it. Now, doing that instantly takes whatever you're aiming at and loads it into your copy-paste area. So if I was to do Ctrl+V, now you can see that would show up. If I was to aim at that and do a Ctrl+B on that one, you can see once again this menu here at the right pops up, and it shows you that it is also in your copy-paste. Now, there's another way to do this. You can just do a Ctrl+C of something, and you see I have this thing. It's actually named an arc pylon, and if I press F10, it'll bring up this list, and you see it didn't add another one here. Now, the two I just created are duplicates of things I already have pretty much. So really quickly, I'm just going to go ahead and delete these. So we're just going to click delete right down here in this list. At the very bottom right, you can see I got a delete button there. So I'm going to click that with it selected. And the arc pylon, I'm going to delete that as well. Now, the other way you can make a blueprint is simply, like I just said, do the Ctrl+C on this, press F10 to open this menu up, and then do a create from clipboard. What it means from clipboard is like your copy-paste clipboard. You know, you never actually see your clipboard. It's just sort of an area that exists on your computer's save stuff. So I click that button, and there you go. Now the arc pylon has been created. And you see when I mouse over these two here, a small thumbnail shows up with them. But when I mouse over the arc pylon, nothing shows up. Well, to simply fix that, go ahead, position your camera however you like, and press F10 again to get this menu open. Select the arc pylon or whatever your new blueprint is going to be, and click the button down here just under cancel that's titled Take Screenshot. You click that. Instantly, it takes a screenshot. Now, as you can see there, my hand was sticking up, so I'm going to press 0 to get rid of my hand, and I'm going to do that again. So once again, F10, select the new one I want to take a screenshot for, click Take Screenshot, and really quickly, you might have noticed a flicker there. It's hiding your UI, taking a screenshot, and then saving it to that. So there you go. That's your new blueprint. And you can go ahead and, if you like, you can do replace with clipboard. So if you say, you know what, I like this arc pylon, but I want to change it without having to make a brand new version, you can go ahead, do your tweaks to it, and then do another Ctrl+C on it. And now, if you do F10, you select your one that you want to replace, you can now click this replace with clipboard. So because we just copied that, it's of course in your clipboard. We click that button. You want to replace this blueprint with what's in the clipboard? Yes, indeed I do. The screenshot still remains the same, but now that I've selected that, I can do OK, which will select it, and I can paste it in. So if let's say I wanted to place the Sage Station in again, I can go ahead and select one of those and click OK, and then when I paste, it'll try to paste it in. So basically when you're clicking OK, when you have one of these selected down here, you're basically selecting it to paste it in. Or you can double click it as I just did there and paste them in like that. And so there you go. That's also how you, of course, overwrite them. If you say you want to change up the one that you have there without having to make a whole new blueprint. So let's go ahead and delete these wings. I don't like that too much. Let's do a Ctrl+C on this. Do an F10, select our arc pylon, replace with clipboard button right down there at the bottom. And then there you go. Once again, when I paste this blueprint, it will be the arc pylon without any special wing thing stuck to the side. Let's just delete these here. And now, of course, deleting stuff, remember that puts it in your clipboard. So to get back to the other one, we're just going to double click the arc pylon again. And there we go. I can paste them in once more. Now, please note that your rotation tools do work. They have for some time. So you can, of course, rotate things around. And something very cool is if you had these set up to be modular, you could, of course, continue building the modular things like so, and just continue pulling different modular pieces from your blueprint screen if you had a bunch of different ones listed here. Now, what you will notice though is that I have one of these here with a little Steam logo right next to it. That's something I've published to the workshop. Because why else would you have a thumbnail? Surely you would remember your own naming conventions. Well, maybe not. But the thumbnail is also there so that if you like, you can go over to details button down here right at the bottom. you can click that details button. It brings this little screen up here in the middle of your screen. You can see at the left there, it has the ship name. You can actually do a rename right here and change the ship name if you like. Otherwise, it'll just take the ship name that the actual ship is named, and you can access that through the info tab of the ship itself. But of course, if you want, you can rename it here. So, hey, I want a space in there, so I'm going to rename that Arc Space Pylon. And then, of course, if you would like to put it on the workshop, you just simply click Publish. You want to publish? Yes, it goes ahead, does its little uploading thing. And there you go, it's up on the workshop. And by the way, I cut out some of that. And then my Steam overlay pops open. And you can, of course, win the Steam overlay, which you can't actually see this, but like anything you've set up on Steam, you can now change the titles and the description there. So I'm actually typing in random description and saving that. And the reason I'm doing this is, even though you can't see it, is because once we're back in game, if you click on F10 again, and at the very bottom click Refresh Blueprints, you have to give it a second here, apparently. There we go, it's refreshed, and now you can see that I have the Arc Pylon set up. And this isn't just set up. What I also mean is that if we click details on it again, you can see that random description, the thing I typed in that you unfortunately couldn't see because my Steam overlay doesn't get recorded with fraps, is actually set there as well, which is pretty dang cool. Now, other things that are to be seen here. Also, please note that you can see that there are... F10 again. You can see that I have the Steam versions and these original versions. To replace the Steam version, I'm assuming you would have to re-upload the original version of these here. And also you can tell that these are actually original copy-pasted items, because if I try to copy, let's say this one here, I believe, by doing a Ctrl+B on it, I missed, I think. So if I get close to it and do a Ctrl+B, there we go, new one. I actually expected it to save with a little blueprint thing right next to it when it showed up in here, but it didn't. But you can see that it was indeed a new one because of the thumbnail is unique to it, but different from the original. Anyway, let's delete that. We don't need that. A little hard to make sure you can upload and replace your original blueprints, but for now it seems like it's working. Yeah, there you go. That's what you usually get if you get try to copy something that is a blueprint. It'll actually say blueprint next to it, indicating that it's already something from the Steam Workshop, or at least a blueprint in existence. Anyway, other things to show is the fact that, like I said, the details here have been changed from the web. You can also do the open in workshop, which will open your Steam overlay, and then you have the send to player. Now this is useful in multiplayer. Let's say you have a blueprint and you're like, I need to share this with my buddy. Well, you can go ahead and click, and if your friend's in multiplayer with you, click their name and it'll send it to them. When they do their F10 button, it'll open up here at the very top and say blah blah blah, this person's sending you this. They can click and get it from there. Pretty simple and straightforward. Of course, you can also send them the old-fashioned way, just by sending them the link to the Steam Workshop page so they can get their hands on it. Now, please note that there is one other thing, and that is if you have a blueprint with mods on it. So I've double clicked there to get the Sage Station, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here, and this usually has a bunch of different modded pieces on it. So if I paste it, it gives you this nice big error here. Paste ship contains blocks that are not available in this world. These blocks will not be pasted, which could possibly cause the ship to split. Do you really want to paste this ship? Well, of course you do. Or maybe you don't. And the reason they say this ship might split is just because maybe those blocks were what was holding one section of the ship together or not, but Sage Station's no thing. But you can see here that instantly, because I pasted it without the mods, there's now just a big opening here where usually there's a door. And if I was to fly up to the rest of the ship, you would notice that some of the desks and stuff that are usually about are missing, as well as some of the bulkheads and stuff that are in between floors. So that's that. That's pretty much everything in this update. It's pretty cool. It's going to change our Steam workshops a lot, because now we're going to have blueprinted ships, and it'll also mean that instead of having to load up someone's world where they might have hidden something, or now you got to deal with the asteroids, copy the ship, leave the world, and paste it into your own world if you want to use their ship for something, well, now it's as simple as pressing F10. Just remember, the most important thing with this update that I think can get in your way is just using Ctrl+B to open that screen. I think it's probably just best to do the Ctrl+C, F10, and then create from clipboard button to make your little original blueprint there before you take a screenshot, change any of its details, or publish it. Anyway guys, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you like this update, and I will see you next time. Also, one last thing. This update was a precursor for what's to come in the future. Before you know it, you'll actually be able to use these in survival mode, and your welders and stuff will actually automatically place blocks to conform with a blueprint. Anyway guys, again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.